What is up, everyone? So in this video I'm going to be going over my thoughts of the end of Fallen Order. So if you have not played the game, or if you just don't want to be spoiled, then turn away now. This video is not for you. But for those of you that just aren't getting the game, you don't care, you just want to know about the ending, and for those of you that have already beaten it, then this video pertains to you guys. You've been warned. I'm about to get into spoilers, so if you haven't clicked away, that's on you. So at the very end of Fallen Order, ultimately, you come across Darth Vader. And I thought that was one of the most powerful scenes in the entire game. And one of my most favorite Darth Vader moments in all of video games. So the Vader moments at the end of this game, to me, is like the equivalent of what he did in Rogue One. It was just a huge, epic moment. They saved him for the end. He felt very powerful, and I mean, in this game he felt really powerful. You could just sense how strong Vader is in the Force. He's not a pushover by any means. He didn't even have a health bar when they gave you that little instance to fight him at the end. He's just picking up stuff, throwing stuff around. He picks you up like you're nothing. As soon as you go to attack Vader, it starts the cutscene, and he does his animation where he chokes you and stuff, which I thought was awesome. They didn't even give you a chance of fighting Vader because he's just so powerful that you just get wrecked, and I loved it. But the only gripe I really have is, honestly, I think Vader should have killed you, because the way that they ended it doesn't make sense. They did it because they didn't have the balls to kill off your character. It does take balls to do that, and Respawn and EA and maybe Disney. I don't know who called the shots with this, but to have you go an entire game playing as this character and building up this character and getting all the different skill points and getting to love that character just to get them killed off, that would be a pretty ballsy move, and it would have been one that I would have respected, and it would have made sense with the lore. So them letting Cal live at the end, and Kree, or however you say her name, she lived too, she's also a Jedi, that just doesn't work. So unless they're doing a sequel, which I don't think that they're going to do, because if they're going to do a sequel, they would still have the same problem. They're gonna have to kill him off at some point, because when they let him live, now you could argue that they just let you live so that you could do free roam, but there's not much you can even do in the free roam. Plus, the free roam takes you back before that end mission anyway, so the free roam technically happens at a previous point in time before the final mission. So that doesn't even affect free roam. So Cal ultimately lives, but it just doesn't make sense, because it's not like Cal to go into hiding. Cal is obviously tired of hiding. You go the entire game, you get all these powers, you get more confident with the Force, you come across all these challenges. It wouldn't be in Cal's character to just do everything he just did and then go into hiding and just never see him again. So at some point, he either has to just do a complete 180 like they did with Luke in The Last Jedi and just cut himself off from the Force and he just hides and lives out his life, or he dies. And they're not going to do this in DLC, because if they sold more to the story in DLC, so that gets into dangerous territory, because that would make a lot of people angry. To get the true ending, you'd have to spend more money, and that would just be a huge PR disaster. No game company ever wants to sell the ending to the game as DLC. But does this mean, with them keeping Cal alive, does that leave the option open for DLC? I said in my review, they should add a horde mode. I think that would be perfect, or some sort of extra mode. A horde mode would work great in this game. You could have just a giant room. During the story mode, you get captured and you have to fight off different bounty hunters and stuff and different creatures in an arena. They could have something like that, just a giant room, and they could add just different waves. Wave 1, you can have just a small creature, or then when you get to wave 10, you have a bounty hunter boss. They could have different themes. You could have bounty hunter arena where you fight creatures and bounty hunters, and then they could have an Empire style arena where you face the stormtroopers and the purge troopers, and then a boss wave you could face an ATST, or they could come up with a new boss, an actual boss fight on wave 10 where you have another Inquisitor to kill or something. They could just have random Inquisitor or really strong strong purge trooper. Because when you get to the end of the game, you have all these upgrades and all these force powers and all this cool stuff, and you can't really use it unless you just go around aimlessly just killing stuff. So I think that there is potential for DLC. Does them keeping Cal alive mean there's going to be a DLC? I don't know. I think if this game does really well, it sells a lot of copies, and there is a huge demand for more stuff, then knowing EA and everything, they might tack on an extra DLC or maybe even a free update, since they like to do the live service approach now. Maybe they'll do a free update with a horde mode. Or like I said in my review, they should add like a multiplayer extra thing, like where they just tack it on, where you could have like lightsaber duels with friends, kind of like Uncharted or Tomb Raider. They had single player, but they also had like a multiplayer mode just tacked on to the side. Or Mass Effect 3 and Mass Effect Andromeda. Those were huge single player games, but they also had like a multiplayer horde mode kind of thing, which was really fun. So hopefully they do something like that. But as for them adding actual story content, it's hard to say. Because if this game really sold a lot and they know they can make money off of a sequel, and like they're still going to have the same problem though. Because unless they want to change the lore of Star Wars, and that's the problem, like as we progress with more and more Disney Star Wars era stuff. It's like, originally there was just Yoda and Luke. That's the only two Jedi that we knew existed. And then suddenly there's like all these other Jedi that have been hiding and survived and made their way through the universe. And now there's like all these Force-sensitive kids that are like on that list that you find during the story in the Holocron. So all those people are out in the universe that have Force powers. So there's like endless possibilities now with the Force and there being like future Jedi, when previously there wasn't. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but once they start tweaking with the original trilogy, that's when it starts to itch me the wrong way. So for me, if they made a sequel, I would want Cal to ultimately get killed. They totally had a missed opportunity there. Like they should have had Vader kill you just then and there. That would have been the end of it. And then they had like a free roam before the final mission, because if they take you back before the final mission anyway, then I don't really see the point. And like I said, I think it just comes down to whoever was in charge of making that decision just didn't have the balls and didn't think that the community would like that. Because if you look at the target audience for this, it's probably just a bunch of like kids through young adults. It's probably the majority of people that's going to play this. And if you have a lot of kids that are getting introduced to Disney Star Wars, they're not going to like the fact that your character gets killed by Darth Vader. So that's my thoughts. Like I said, I hope they have some sort of DLC, like a horde mode, or add something extra to free roam, or even if they added like a story DLC, as long as it's like free, then it's okay. But if they make you pay for it, that's where people are going to get pretty ticked off. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. What would you guys like to see them add extra to the game, if anything at all? And then what do you guys think of the ending? Do you think that they made the right call? Do you think Cal should have died? Do you think that they're going to make new games in the future? Let me know your guys' thoughts. And then if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out another video. Follow me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can join the Discord. All those links are found in the description down below. And that's going to do it for me, guys, and I will talk to you guys next time.
We would be honored if you would join us. You cannot resist